Good evening. Welcome to the Mind of STEM channel, where you get your daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. I'm your host, Leon Jones. In this segment, we're going to talk about energy. Now, this energy is not ordinary energy, but it's natural energy. It deals with the sun. And the name of that energy is solar energy. So, the title of tonight's video is going to be solar energy. What is it and how does it work? Now, one thing you have to understand about solar energy is that it is the most abundant energy resource on Earth. It can be captured and used in several ways. And as a renewable energy source, solar energy is an important part of our clean energy future. Now, some key takeaways to solar energy. Solar energy comes from the sun and it can be captured with various technologies, primarily solar panels. The photovoltaic effect is the mechanism by which silicon solar panels harness the sun's energy and generate electricity. Now, we want to take advantage of solar energy ourselves. So, if you understand this video, solar energy is one of the best sources of energy. Now, again, the sun does more for our planet than just provide lighting during the daytime, because each particle of sunlight, called a photon, that reaches Earth contains energy that fuels our planet. Solar energy is solar energy is an ultimate source responsible for all of our weather systems and energy sources on Earth, and enough solar radiation hits the surface of the planet each hour to theoretically fill our global energy needs for nearly an entire year. Whereas when we deal with other energy, we create energy like hydroelectric power. Well, it's not natural like solar energy. It's man-made. Now, where does all this energy come from? Our sun, like any star in a galaxy, is like a massive nuclear reactor. Deep in the sun's core, nuclear fusion reactions produce massive amounts of energy that radiates outward from the sun's surface and into space in the form of light and heat. Now, solar power can be harnessed and converted to usable energy using photovoltaics or solar thermal collectors. Although solar energy only accounts for a small amount of overall global energy use, the falling cost of installing solar panels means more and more people in more places can take advantage of solar energy. Solar energy is clean, it's a renewable energy source, and it figures to play an important part in the global energy future. Now, there are many ways to use energy from the sun. The two main ways to use energy from the sun are photovoltaics and solar thermal capture. No, photovoltaics are more common for smaller scale energy projects like residential solar panel installations, and solar thermal capture. It's typically only used for energy production in massive scales in utility solar installations. Now, in addition to producing electricity, lower temperature variations of solar thermal projects can be used for heating and cooling. Solar is one of the fastest growing and cheaper sources of power in the world and will continue to spread rapidly in the coming years. Now, with solar panel technology improving each year, the economic benefits of solar improve, adding to the environment perks of choosing a clean, renewable energy source. Now, photovoltaic energy or photovoltaic solar energy. Now, a common way for property owners to take advantage of solar energy is with a photovoltaic PV solar system. Now, with a solar PV system, solar panels convert sunlight into electricity that can be used immediately, stored in a solar battery, or sent to the electrical grid for credits on your electric bill. Now, solar panels convert energy into usable energy. Solar panels convert energy into usable electricity through a process known as the photovoltaic effect. Now, incoming sunlight strikes a semiconductor material, typically silicon, and knocks electrons loose by setting them in motion and generating a electrical current that can be captured into wiring. Now, the current is known as DC, or direct current electricity, and must be converted into AC, alternating current electricity, using a solar inverter. Now, the conversion is necessary to become the U.S. grid, because the U.S. grid basically operates using AC electricity, as do most household electric appliances. So solar energy can be captured at many scales using photovoltaics, and installing solar panels is a smart way to save money on your electric bill while reducing your dependence on non-renewable fossil fuels. Now, large companies and electric utilities can also benefit from photovoltaic solar energy generation by installing large solar arrays that can power company operations or supply energy to the electrical grid. Now, when it comes to solar thermal, that's the second way to use solar energy to capture heat from solar radiation directly and use that heat in a variety of ways. Now, solar thermal energy has a broader range that uses a photovoltaic system, but by using solar thermal energy for electricity generation at small scales is basically not as practical as using photovoltaics. Now, there are three general types of solar energy used: low temperature, used for heating and cooling; mid temperature, used for heating water; and high temperature, used for electrical power generation. Low temperature solar thermal energy involves heating and cooling as a means of climate control. Again, when you deal with low temperature solar thermal energy, that involves HVAC. HVAC deals with heating and cooling. So heating and cooling deals with climate control. Now, an example of this type of energy usage is in a passive solar building design. Now, in properties built for passive solar energy use, the sun's rays are allowed into a living space to heat an area and block when the area needs to be cooled. Now, we also can utilize that in an equation known as heat loss and gain. Now, mid-temperature solar energy thermal systems include solar hot water heating systems and a solar hot water setup, where heat from the sun is captured by the collectors on your rooftop. The heat is then transferred to the water running through your home's piping, so you don't have to rely on traditional water heating methods such as water heaters powered with oil or gas. And high temperature solar thermal systems are used for generating electricity on a larger scale. In a solar thermal electricity plant, mirrors focus the sun's rays on tubes containing a liquid that can hold heat energy well. The heat fluid can then be used to turn water into steam, which can turn a turbine and generate electricity. This type of technology is often referred to as concentrated solar power. So it's almost like hydroelectric power, where you have a dam. And what happens? The water turns the turbine, the current is pushed through the power lines, and electricity is then generated. Now, Got to take advantage of solar energy on your property, because the best way for individual property owners to save money with solar energy is to install a home solar photovoltaic system. Now, again, you got to understand solar energy and how it works. But when it comes to solar energy is a good source of renewable energy because it comes from the sun. And again, solar energy is the most abundant resource on Earth because it can be captured and used in several ways as a renewable energy source. And when you deal with the sun, solar energy, it's an important part of our clean energy future. That concludes this topic on solar energy from the Mind of STEM channel. And on this channel, you get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, if you want some more controversial topics, check out the 401 Talk Zone radio show. I talk more about politics. I get into red pill content. I give you a lot of current events. Also, check out the 401 Talk Zone radio show on Blog Talk Radio. And also, you can check this channel out as well on YouTube. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to all of my channels on YouTube and Blog Talk Radio. Now, if you cannot find any of my channels on YouTube, Blog Talk Radio, simply go to my Facebook and Twitter pages. Because once I record all of my content, I post it up on my other social media platforms. There it is. Thank you for taking your time to listen to the Mind of STEM channel, where you get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Until next time, my name is Leon Jones. Wonderful and blessed night.